I've just been overdoing it. I haven't really slept. I've been trying to work on this new piece. Now, ever since I met LaRouche, it really inspired me, him and his wife.
Skill is so cold and surgical that when it has no passion behind it, you have to have the things that you are most vulnerable about. You have some?
I do. This girl with golden hair on a chaise longue, but her face is not complete.
You should try to capture the moment when life begins. Display that to the world in all its glory.
I was trying to determine if the salon had been a success, but the future remains unclear.
I caught him red-handed upstairs in Paladin's occult knick-knack room. He was trying to find something to steal.
It all starts to make sense that Paladin's obsession with making the salon a success, and the fact that potentially he's loaned this book out and this book has been changed hands multiple times, that there is something central involved in this particular ritual, channeling God.
I feel like I know Paladin and he might be able to trust me, and I think he might have more answers than we're giving him credit for.
Please, the two of you, take the cab. The simplest way to becoming an artist, there's power in both. The gallery itself, which I never got to see, or I could go as an artist, as an aspiring artist, I could go to the place where he felt the aspirational view.
This Pinot, has opened the door. Will you not step through and create something in your own style?
My instinct is the fewer of us who go to Pinoir's apartment, possibly the best. A lightness of touch is probably a good idea.
In the spirit of the evening, I turn on my heel at the very last second, and I do go for the apartment.
The Apocalypse Players present A Message of Art by Matt Sanderson, a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario from the Nameless Horrors collection, with Joseph Chance as Jane Harnsworth-Wright, art dealer, Danann McAleer as Clovis Hérbert, classical painter, Dominic Allen as Donatien Benoit, art critic, and returning special guest Jessica Temple as Edwina Alexander, dilettante. The title music is by Julie Abbey, and your keeper of arcane lore is Dan Wheeler. Part 8, Scene 1, La Châtelaine ou le Tocsin, Toulouse-Lautrec.
We will rendezvous tomorrow.
9 o'clock.
Yes, 9 o'clock.
The Portuguese Cafe. I'll be there from 8.
Of course.
She's famous for her punctuality, horrifyingly, to most of the Parisians.
There's a part of me that I think, as I see Jane walk away, I have this sense of unease in my heart. And I can't tell why. It's the same reason I slipped her the note to say we were going to the salon. But I still... Yeah, there's something about this group that I feel is important, and there's something that I feel in our shared intellect could be unwound, but I can't put a grip on it. And to be honest, the other half of my heart is I'm in a cab with Edwina, so I lean back into the couch and I sort of sit there quite, seemingly contentedly.
So I think, Jane, you got Pinot's address off Clovis.
Boy.
You see it's just around the corner, so you don't even need to get a cab. And you make your way there on foot. And you arrive at the door and...
So it's not an apartment block? There's nobody... There's not a night porter or anything like that?
Well, give me a luck roll.
Yeah, I like it.
A licorice loving. Not that you've got any.
Not my strongest. That is a 74. That's a fail on my luck. 45. There is no night porter, presumably.
No, you can get inside the building, but there's no night porter.
So just locked doors?
Yeah.
In which case I will I'll check. It's a little bit cheeky, but I'll check the mat, the lamp, the cactus, see if there's any spare keys left around. He's an artist. He probably ended up drinking too much sometimes and leaving a spare key. Maybe.
Great. Maybe a spot hidden.
The shutters. Spot hidden's quite good, I seem to recall. Not that good though. Wow, I am rolling badly tonight, guys. I'm not passed the. Oh no, I passed the idea roll. That was it. Yeah, 59 on a 40.
Push, luck.
I was going to say 40% chance. What would Dom do? Dom would push the roll here at this stage. 59, too much. So I think there's that shutter. And then I remember, well, I don't remember. I've not been here before. But I see there's that window just around the corner. If I can lean out onto the balcony, I can just maybe check that shutter. But I will really have to lean out over the balcony. Because it's a couple of floors up, right? Mm-hmm. How many? Did I just say a couple?
Mm-hmm.
How many floors up is it, Dan?
Yeah, I think, well, you did say a couple, yeah.
A couple of floors up, yeah. French floors, of course, where the first floor is the premier etage. And,
So what are you rolling on now?
I'm going to push the roll to lean out to check.
What spot hidden?
Spot hidden. I'm going to have just checking that shutter that I didn't manage to get to because it seemed like it was too far away. But that would be a really good place. And he's quite tall, or was.
It would be a great place.
It would be a great place to hide a key.
Okay.
That is a 33.
Yes!
Given my recent revelation, I'm not going to touch anything. It's there.
So you find a key there. Amazing. And you quietly let yourself in to the apartment and shut the door behind you silently. Meanwhile, your cab pulls up outside Peladan's. Again, you're back at these big wooden doors. It's, maybe 20 minutes after you left, so he might still be up.
What's the butler called?
Coffier.
Will he be around?
Yeah, is he the personal butler or was he?
We'll just see for the party.
No, he's his personal butler.
I only ever have butlers for parties.
Naked butlers. Sorry. Yeah, so...
Do you knock on the door?
I think so. I feel like there's been tomfoolery and I want to just, so there's a rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. And I turn... This is because it's late and I'm going insane. I turn to Clovis and I say...
I love it.
Clovis,
what?
Know that whatever happens in the next few minutes...
Yes.
Tonight has been exhilarating and wonderful and confusing all at the same time, and I have you to thank for that. And then the door opens. I don't know.
Danann's face was brilliant.
The door opens. Coffier is there and says, "Oh, Mademoiselle Edwina. Oh, Monsieur Hérbert.
All right, Count.
Can I help?"
Yes, and I'm turning on the charm. Yes, I hope you don't find this too impertinent. I just had an inkling to check on Peladan, and I feel like we left the night rather rudely without making sure that he was all right with all this kerfuffle going on in his own house, of all places.
Absolutely.
Would you mind if we came in, maybe for a spot of tea? Could you arrange it?
Tea? What? A spot of tea?
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive my English tendencies. I tend to do that when I'm tired. No.
We will not be having tea.
A red wine, perhaps. Red. Yeah, sorry.
He goes and he has a word with Peladan, and he comes back and says, Monsieur Peladan will be pleased to receive you.
Oh, how wonderful.
And leads you through. In fact, he leads you upstairs to Peladan's private occult library.
That was easy.
Holy shit.
Great.
Where Peladan is sat reading, and he welcomes you both in. He says, Mademoiselle Edwina, please join me and Clovis. I now know you. You have the gift. You have demonstrated it. Welcome.
Oh, wait.
Welcome. What a night we have had. It's so sad and yet
tragic.
Incredibly tragic and yet such miraculous affairs at the same time. Quite something. Who knows, the next salon will be even greater.
Another death, you mean? I sort of, that takes me, I don't like his nonchalance about the fact that a man's head has exploded.
No.
In his downstairs place. So I catch myself off guard ever so slightly, because I feel like I'm playing a bit of a game here in terms of like I'm presenting him with a bit of the side of me that's like, ooh, sassy, and I can get what I want out of you, versus actually how I'm feeling, which is not uncomfortable, but I don't like. Yeah. So I sort of snap and I said, what? Another seemingly innocent man dead, you mean? And then I sort of say, what I meant by that is, and I sort of look to you, Clovis, and I don't know, beckon you with my eyes and sort of like, help me out here. Like,
wait, I back her up and I say, wait, we must not make light of this. Perhaps he was not the greatest artist, but he was one of our kind. We should show solidarity in these moments, no? However his brain blew up, I don't know who shot him, or if he shot himself, or do you have any inclination? I know we arrived together, Paladin, so...
Well, this is what I am trying to deduce from the... We all had strange visions this evening as part of the ritual staring into the font, and I'm trying to find something. He's sort of tearing through books. He's got lots of books laid out on the table. I'm trying to find some meaning in these visions. But the salon is...
Perhaps the moment when life begins is life for one thing and death for another. I know Jane was talking about some light escaping. She said... I do not know. Do you know Jane Harnsworth-Wright?
Wait. Oh, yes, I know the woman, yes.
Wait, she was speaking as if she had seen something. She seemed convinced his soul had left his body, and I just think about this revelation of the moment where life begins. Is it when the moment life ends for something else? A light emerges when death comes out, and who is it that is controlling this? There is something to it, I swear. And I feel the urge to go back to sketching again. I sort of fussle with my fussle. I fussle with my folio, and then but I don't get anything out.
No, you don't, because I sort of calm you by just putting my hand on your hand before reaching into your pocket, and I say, "Forgive the impertinence, Paladin, and maybe this was extremely forward of me, but perhaps you can explain something to me. What is..." And I pause for a long time, just enough to sort of make people think I've lost my mind. And then I sort of snap back into the room and I say, "What is channeling?" Oh.
He looks really taken aback.
Oh, shit.
And says,
I don't know her.
Channeling.
channeling.
Who is this woman? I've never seen this woman. She's very attractive, but I've never met her.
Channeling. This is strange you bring up channeling on this night of all nights. What makes you ask this?
And I squeeze Clovis's hand as if to say, "Don't tell him that I don't say anything." And using my charm and wit and breasts, I sort of distract and I sort of...
And breasts.
The legendary combo.
I sort of say, oh, well, that rambling art critic Benoit was raving about something or other, and as we were walking out of here, and it's a word that I heard, and it just sounded ever so peculiar to me, and it's been on my mind ever since, and I can't seem to shake it. Of course, I know nothing of these things, which is why I came to speak to you in the first place, Paladin, this evening, but we never got round to it, of course, and I'm sort of rambling ever so slightly, but I am keeping my cool, and I hope it's working. But basically, I put it all onto Benoit because he's not here. But I don't want you to know that I have this. I nicked the note.
Yeah.
Sure. No, good.
I feel the dice approaching, Jess. I feel the dice approaching. Oh, maybe not.
He says, channeling, there is a spell, a ritual, if you like, which I have been interested in furthering the interests of the salon, to create the symbolic art, the perfect symbol of life, death, more than this petty representative arts that the French have been fixated with for too many decades. And there was a spell in a very rare book that I managed to lay my hands on, Edwina, and I know you would be very interested. The book is called Évocation du Dieu intérieur.
How to do interior design.
That's exactly right. It contains rituals that allow one to make contact with the inner God, the manifestation of God's omnipotent ability to be present within every human being. You understand?
Yeah.
Little of what I'm...
Yes, I think I do. And tell me, have you ever tried such a ritual?
It is a ritual that must be performed by an artist, not one that patronizes the arts as myself. And I lent this book to Larouche. He said he was hoping to use it to inspire beatific vision. I hoped he might use it to create the Minotaur, to partner with Pinot's painting, The Man and the Bull. And he said he would try, but let me see. He returned it tonight. It should be in the cabinet. He said he left it.
And as you sort of turn your back, I turn to Clovis.
My hand has been gripping yours tighter and tighter. Yeah.
Thank you. The note said thank you for the loan. Do you think he lent? Is this the loan that the note is talking about?
Wait.
Then who did he channel?
Bathsheba, she is the art.
My brain is exploding.
He has channeled.
Oh shit, she's the muse. And maybe I don't know, I'm doing really well at sort of keeping my calm, but maybe the muse kind of slips out a bit louder than the rest of them. I don't know enough to make Paladin turn around.
Where?
But surely they have to lean closer and closer.
Exactly.
To make sure that it doesn't slip out. So they're just so...
Their noses are touching.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, silly me.
And while this is going on, Paladin is pottering around saying, I'm sure he said he left this on the table. I assumed he meant the table in front of the cabinet. And he's looking around the library and saying, I cannot think where it kind of... Maybe it slipped off the table.
Lavanya fucking nicked it.
I don't know where it could be.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is frustrating, but the spell you referred to, it is curious to me that I wonder what...
Is everything all right?
Yes, I just do not understand. I need to contact Larouche.
They left sharpish.
To confirm where he left the book. I'm sure there is no problem. He gave me a card and he starts patting himself down.
Oh.
Says, this is gone also.
What's gone, Paladin?
I had a card from Larouche.
I sort of my hand sort of gravitates up towards where
rubbing your boob,
rubbing my left breast, where
heart doth hop.
Not as rough or as obvious as that. Yes.
I like the fact you've put a little emoji in the corner of your Zoom screen, Jess, which looks exactly like your hand rubbing up and down your boob.
Do I?
How have you done that?
So he's patting himself down, he's looking around the room and he touches his forehead and he takes out his handkerchief and sort of mops his temples and says, I think perhaps the events of this evening have been a bit much for me. I think perhaps I should turn in and call it a night, but perhaps we continue this conversation another time.
But of course, I'm sorry to have ruffled you. Your feathers clearly this late in the evening.
No.
I thank you for your conversation, and of course, let us continue at another more convenient time.
Yes. Coiffier will show you out. And he turns to the bookshelves, and Coiffier appears sort of almost by magic, and leads you out, and I think calls you each a cab to your own residences. And as you walk out of the occult library, you see him returning to the bookshelves and sort of frantically looking between the books as if to find a tiny slim volume that's missing.
God.
Even though he's there and he calls the cabs, I think in that moment, as the two cabs arrive, very quickly, I assume, I just turn to Edwina and I want to say, that card you showed me earlier, it's only 50 kilometers outside Paris, so it seems like perhaps after coffee tomorrow morning, our adventures may lead us there. Either way.
That sounds, yes, perfectly reasonable. Something, I feel like we're almost there, Clovis. We're so close.
Yes.
And they really are. They're so close, literally.
Yeah.
We're so close.
Aren't we just?
I suppose that's all that's left to say is good.
Bonne nuit.
Good night.
Wait. Bonne nuit. And her cab arrives, that pulls up slightly earlier, and she turns just as he reaches in for the kiss.
Air kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, no good.
And sort of stumbles slightly on the wet paving stones and looks up, sees the little mouse running along the rooftops from Ratatouille again and curses.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, really good. Oh, man.
Tomorrow.
Poor Clovis. He's such a character of pity.
I know.
Oh.
And Edwina's cab takes her home to her own bed, where she, despite the somewhat dramatic events of the evening, I think you managed to get to sleep. Your dreams are maybe plagued a little by recurring sounds of a tray of drinks dropping and glasses smashing and images of just ever-expanding pools of blood.
Yeah.
You know, like the blood on the cracked photo in Don't Look Now. Mm-hmm. The blood just sort of spills out. It's that over and over again. Every time the tray drops and the glasses smash, the blood spills out from under the tray and the glasses until it fills the frame, and you sort of stir and shake the dream out, but it keeps coming round again. Until the morning. Scene 2. Contemplation. Jan Toorop. So, Jane, you open the door and you're confronted with Pinot's apartment.
Socks everywhere. It smells like brie.
Yeah, it smells like brie. It smells like pied d'anglais.
That's quite nice.
He just pads around, naked from his waist down, picking up croissant crumbs with his feet.
Oh, God, it's kind of sexy.
Yeah, right.
In a way that I wasn't expecting. I don't think I've ever felt like that about a man.
Oh, hey.
You're confronted with an apartment which is in complete disarray. Not disarray like it's been ransacked, but just like whoever's living there has not been looking after themselves for the past few days. And you remember him saying in the absinthe bar that he hadn't been sleeping enough and he'd been focusing a bit too much on his work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And perhaps that's why, he'd been getting these headaches and stuff.
Yeah, another wave of guilt rushes over her, but still she plows ahead.
She suppresses it. And are you looking for anything particular in here, or have you just felt drawn here?
I want sketches and preparatory work. And I think deep down, because that's how symbolism works, under the layers, I'm looking for something about Bathsheba. Because everything that Clovis said backs up all of my instincts after that conversation where, I know I'm an artist, but I don't know if I'm anywhere near as good as someone like Clovis. I'm not, but I have vision.
Great.
And there's this nagging doubt in my head, and that's why I've turned away from the gallery to go and get them. I could get the money, and I could persuade someone to sell me the painting, or go into negotiation about the sale of the painting. But here, I want to understand why an artist would go this far and how he made himself this sick. And I'm beginning to think, like, maybe she gave him some kind of drug. I haven't managed to say this to any of the others back at the Absinthe bar, but like, there we were imbibing, and I'm thinking, but stuff can make you do stuff. Hashish can make you do things. She's never done that, but she knows people who have, and they've seen things and painted them, and they've been weird, and like, what if he took something and it blew his fucking brain out? Because she said here, because she's from somewhere else, and that's a very English thing to think. But I'm beginning to wonder, maybe that's because she is from somewhere else, and she has some other understanding of things that can make you have visions, and so this is all sort of running through her head, like a wild flurry.
Yeah.
She's trying to control it.
It's perfect. So that most of the papers that you see scattered around the room, and the room does smell like unwashed man. There are some worn clothes lying around. It doesn't stink, but it's like it smells of just someone who has not really looked after themselves. And there are papers lying around everywhere, sketches, and on most of the easels, the big canvases are paintings, really quite good paintings of a phoenix rising from ashes or from flames, which you remember he'd described being fixated in creating.
Yes, that was the next Pinot.
But they're constantly repeated iterations of the same image, slightly altered and clearly rejected. Some of them are torn, or he's painted big, broad brushstrokes through. None of them, for your purposes, are saleable.
Damn it.
They've been unfinished or ripped or damaged, but he clearly has been, which is a shame because...
Shall I just roll my 70 appraise just to see how much I'm sure of that?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's a 09, best roll of the night for me.
You think that these paintings are inspired, but he has self-sabotaged each of them in a way, because they clearly haven't fulfilled his perfectionism.
I smash something, the nearest thing to me, I smash it.
A glass with water in and a paintbrush sat in it.
Yeah. Which I instantly regret because I realised that it'll have made noise, but I've done it now.
You've done it. And then you sort of turn away from that and you start looking for other sketches, and you find a pile of, as you search through anything that might be valuable, artistically valuable, you find a stack of paintings that are clearly draft sketches for the painting that has been described to you of Jesus giving a loaf of bread to a woman.
Yeah, okay, great. I'll definitely have a close look at these.
And you flick through them and they're all slightly different. They all have a slightly different composition. And the faces are all different as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's found one model and painted her over and over again.
Is Edwina there? Can I see Edwina?
No, some of the faces resemble her a little.
She's got that classical look, hasn't she? So yeah, I mean, she could almost be anyone. She's so good looking.
Yeah, but the face of the woman sort of changes and keeps being refined, and you can see that it's almost like every iteration is him trying to make the woman more beautiful. And none of them are quite as beautiful as the finished painting which you've seen hanging in the gallery as well.
Yeah.
But, now it's been brought to your mind, you remember, none of them are as beautiful as the Bathsheba you saw tonight, but you can see the faces moving in that direction. And then you turn away again and you find another pile of preparatory sketches for The Man and the Bull, the painting that you were, and now your interest is really piqued.
Yeah. And I think I'm just silently crying now as well, because I think that's what would happen after that sort of intensity of all of this is about this kind of unattainable concept of a female beauty. And although I wasn't privy to that moment of the trash that Clovis Hérbert realized was going on in his own art, and in art that is sort of objectified and yet also therefore so horribly subjective about what is the objective idea of beauty, as I'm going through this whole kind of high-speed reassociation with all of that horror of just like, it's just this theme. I'm this male gaze object, And I'm not even in this painting. These are other women that I'm looking at who are in this, and there's all that stuff. And so I think I'm crying, but I stand up and I'm focused.
Well, I think that is why your focus turns to these preparatory sketches for the man and the bull. And you again reminded of his genius. That painting, which everyone admired, the fact that it was famously this, from one angle it was black. It was just like a black rectangle, like a doorway into a dark room. You could see nothing, but yet from different angles, the shades emerged and the Minotaur emerged out of the darkness. And you just remember when everyone saw that, what an incredible painting it was. And that reminds you of your desire, your newfound desire to maybe create something yourself.
Yeah.
And I think you maybe look around the room to see if you can find some graphite or some pencils. What's your artistic skill?
Yeah. But no, that's exactly what it is. It's that first sketch. It's the drawing.
It's drawing, is it? Great. And I think you find some pencils and pull out some paper and sort of just start doodling, really.
Au bord de la rivière, nous étions allongés. Auprès de toi la clairière, et pense me remit le bouquet. Sous les déchets nos enfants, la lune suspendue te souffle à travers les bras. L'histoire des marins perdus. Oh, je me prends dans mon cœur chacun de ces baisers, chacune de ces fleurs pour un hiver entier.
Clovis, your cab takes you home and drops you at your own little artist's garret, which is, it's very humble and small, and I think the contrast between your abode and Paladin's apartments could not be more stark to you in this moment. And perhaps more than ever, you feel this sort of anger inside you that you have to achieve greatness, especially if you're to win someone like Edwina.
He has more than a chip on his shoulder.
What were you thinking that she might kiss you?
I know.
That grubby artist in rags compared to her. She's a Venus.
Even though he is eccentric and all these other things, it fades into nothing when you step forwards to kiss a woman and she turns on her heels and gets into a cab. It is the worst feeling of all, and and he has lost his friend tonight as well, so I think as he arrives home, he's a bit of a state, honestly.
Do you pour yourself another drink?
Away.
You pour yourself a stiff drink and maybe get out your paintbrushes.
My 9th or 10th of the evening, perhaps, but away. And I have a new easel, and it's been sat there for a while now. Because I'm a classical artist and I do not like this symbolism, and I cannot just draw an oblong of a grey and call it a Minotaur. And yet I see the genius when it happens. I see the genius, but there is something lost, I think, and I still need to combine those two. But the thing that is motivating me is as suspicious as I am of Bathsheba, and still is the moment when life begins. And I ignore the previous sketches, I open my folio and see what I have been sketching while we were waiting for the gendarmerie, and I have filled in the blank faces of these previous models with Edwina's face, Jane's face, with the birth canal itself, with the eyes as the clitoris and the cheeks as the labia minora, and hair as the pubis. I have gone through every literal possible thing.
Courbet. It's Courbet. Courbet, that's his name, right? The world, you know it?
No.
It is literally the Mons Pubis. It is, That's his painting, and that was turn of the century.
It's called The World, right?
I think it's called The World. He just paints that which cannot be painted.
Yeah.
Oh, I genuinely don't know.
I don't think it was exhibited, but that is essentially what you've just... Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, but awesome.
Oh, there you go. Olympus Mons Pubis.
But I think you take out your paints and your brushes, and rather than doing preparatory sketches, you take with no pencil or whatever, you take the oils straight to the canvas.
Wait. Perhaps not even with a brush. Perhaps it is more primal than that. I don't know.
Oh wow, yeah.
Perhaps it is a finger painting, as we did in school as children. Why not?
What's the image you're trying to create?
It is the birth of life, but I do not know what that is yet. I've tried the literal.
Well, why don't you give me an art roll? What's your painting?
Wait. Oh, a 4. What is it again? A 4 on a 70.
It's a masterpiece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's produced a masterpiece.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your finger paints, it's like you're dipping your finger in the palette and smearing it, and suddenly you're like, this is what I've been doing wrong all these years. I've been putting something between myself and the canvas, the brush.
There's no need.
This is going straight from you to the paper. I'll let you think about what you're creating while I flip back to Jane, if that's all right. Meanwhile, Jane, you are with your pencils out, scribbling frantically on these papers. Maybe you could give me a roll as well for your art skill.
I would love to. This is big because 4 is a lot to beat, and I've only got 50% drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 56. And I think... I mean, who knows? I feel like there's something that we could gain here by me passing this, which is positive. But I also wonder if it's better if she fails. I just can't quite work out. Any tips, Keeper? Go with my instinct, because that's art. I think that's what's held her back, is that there's something holding her back.
I'd say you are... I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'd say you.
No, I'm asking for tips. It's hard.
You are in this weird. You're almost in like an out of body experience, being driven to create, and I think that means that
that's spending the luck, right?
Well, I was going to say I think it means just doing something which is okay.
Yeah,
might not really satisfy you anyway.
Yeah. So Oh, so don't spend the luck. It's not about conscious spending of luck. It's like this wasn't the one. This wasn't the one. But
you might want to try again.
I could push it, couldn't I? I've got a 50% on the roll. I'm going to push it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what we do.
That's how we do it.
I think we push it. How do I push it? So I think I realise that I'm holding myself back, and it's all got quite. So I look around, and I'm sure there's some booze there, or maybe there isn't. But sort of initially, that's my first thought, is to sort of become less conscious. So maybe I just adopt something a little bit more like I undo the neck of my high fine dress, and because I don't have the décolletage, so I don't show all of that off. But I kind of strip back a bit. I've still got my dress on, but I loosen everything, and I think I take a bit of the paint in my hand, and I smell it, and I sort of smear my face with the paint, and I light some candles for a ritual feel.
Yeah.
Around the place where I'm drawing, because there were I heard a couple of vague descriptions about that. I never got to read the ritual of channeling, but I think there's this sort of quality. And I pick up a palette knife thinking, am I going to use just paint straight on? No, I still want to draw. I still want to trust my skill. So, but I've got the palette and knife in one hand, and I lean close over, and I've sort of got the... And I think justice is done, my friends. 98. Oh no, but it's not a fumble. 50, right? Shit, okay.
Yeah, but it is a failed push roll.
Yeah, but it's very much a failed push roll, so...
Oh, man.
So you scribble and scribble and scribble, and you start to form the shape of... You finally know what you're trying to achieve, and you realise you're trying to imitate the man in the bull, the Minotaur in
It's the classic problem.
and it's like a big black slab with an image within it, and it's good. Actually, it's much better than much more interesting than anything you've ever sketched before.
Yeah.
Everything you've done before has been very literal.
Yeah.
Still lifes, portraits that have been okay. This is actually, you think this is very good, but it's not good enough. And you really, you tense up as you start drawing and your head begins to throb, and you feel this piercing pain in your temples.
Oh, God.
And then suddenly you see a drop of blood on the paper, and you realise your nose is bleeding.
God.
And I think at this point, if you don't feel like this is taking too much agency from you, and if you do, then I apologise, you stumble back onto your feet. And although you came to this room for something, you kind of stagger back out the door, close the door.
No, this is not... Yeah, that's perfect.
Wow.
Touching your nose again to see whether it's still bleeding, and it's not. And that big wave of pain in your head has subsided.
But of course I'm filled with the fear that... Is it something that was in his room?
You lit those candles.
Is my brain going to explode? I think I run.
You run and somehow find your way home back to your own accommodation.
So desperately head back to the apartment.
And your head hits the pillow and you fall asleep. Scene 3. The origin of the world. Courbet. Meanwhile, Clovis,
What?
fingers in oil paint smearing all over the canvas. What are you creating? What's the image you're creating?
I know what I am creating. It is everything and nothing. It is the nothing of these women, these models I have obsessed with, the reality of the models mixed with the cosmic of everything. And, I create instead. I create the blank space where their faces should have been. I ignore the body. I simply fill in the faces, but without the bodies on a new canvas. And I create from the mons pubis and the literal burst canal. I create the Olympus Mons of Mars. I create the star and the planet exploding outwards. And I create. I realize I am simply drawing with all the colors. And as much as I slag him off, as it were, I am drawing a perfect circle, a perfect sphere with two horns, like the rings of Saturn for the legs of the woman, the orb for the birth canal, for the face that was never there, and the legs bent upwards into the rings of the Saturn planet. And it is using every color I have, but not just mashed together. There is some sense in the way my thumbs form it, but it becomes this dark sphere and two-horned prong. Very much like the sigil of John Dee. The top of it, at least. And I keep dragging my hands upwards in this gentle, lifting motion, as one might do with a woman in labor to bring the birth, and as one god might do with a star that needed to explode.
You do, and you find yourself, and it's almost like you're rubbing the back of a woman on all fours.
Ouais.
In the late stages of labor, you're deeply massaging this page.
Ouais. A necessary pain to the art of birth.
Right. And you step back to look at this thing you've created, which is strange, yet beautiful, yet really affecting in a not entirely pleasant way. And then suddenly, just when you think it's perfect, you see the paint actually is still running. It's dripping. It's dripping off the canvas.
No. Perfection. No.
And then it all starts dripping. The whole lot drips. The whole lot drips right off, leaves a blank canvas. It drips completely off and pools on the floor like an oily mass of iridescent colours changing. And as you see this sort of vivid pool on the floor, suddenly a hand shoots up out of the pool on the floor.
Oh, God!
Oh, fuck me.
You are fucked.
Oh, shit.
And slams down on the floorboards of your apartment, and you see that oil paint sort of splash up around the hand and then suck back down into the pool.
Holy shit, sir.
And as the hand sort of rises, another hand comes up next to it, and these hands kind of reach down onto the floorboards and push, and you see a figure, you see the back of a head and shoulders emerge out of this pool on the floor, and eventually sort of come up to standing, and the head lifts, and you see this faceless figure with horns, like what you've just drawn, and a huge pregnant belly sort of moving in this oily way, with colours sort of swirling all over her. There's no face. You decided you didn't want to paint a face.
Right.
These horns are almost like the foot, like a overly extended crescent of a moon. And then it sort of flops to the floor and starts breathing, and you can see the paint drying as if this creature is setting. And the body is still sort of like a myriad of different colours.
Right.
And as she gets back to her feet again, you can see this paint splatters left where she steps. And then she sort of stands up and looks to you with this expressionless face, and her head tilts to the side in a manner of, what would you have me do? And could you please give me a sanity roll?
I don't know. Do you think that's justified?
Do you think that's
Yeah.
I might need one.
I mean, that's a fail. That's a 63.
Oh, man, unlucky. You've been rolling well tonight.
Would you like me to roll, or will you?
Would you mind rolling for me?
That's 8 points of sanity.
Ooh, boom.
I think it's fair. More than fair.
Yeah, that's bout-worthy. Right, that is bout-worthy.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's your total sanity? What's your starting sanity? In fact, I can find out.
2 seconds. Let me just write that down. Minus 8. Oh, 60. So, yeah, oh god, it wasn't like a fail by much, to be fair.
But mind you, your sanity was already down to 4. Hey, I've got some great news for you.
Oh, yeah?
You've now lost 12 sanity in the day, so you actually are also indefinitely insane.
Excellent. Minus 12 Sam.
That's about...
How long, dark hair, a soft embrace, and what I saw made me stay. Medusa, Medusa, Medusa. Rivers and mountains, hills and valleys, all sparkling in the morning light. There in her bright, appealing eyes shone the promise of a new life. Darkness of my soul, come lay what is begging to die. Drop your dead branches, your heavy bags, and trust the queen of the night.
Great. Thank you for indulging me longer than you said you would, but
thank God we did, because that was one of the most unsettling moments I think we've played for me.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrifying. Oh my God.
Let it all die and rest in me. Trust a great mystery for the end of the long night. There can be a bounty spring if you look at me. Oh, just look at me. Oh, just look at me. Oh, and let it die with me.
And I think on the way home, even though I'm in this almost fugue-like state, I find myself thinking over two particular men who've been distant from me the whole evening, but are incredibly important. The first of which is Paul Durand-Ruel, the owner of the gallery that hosted the Salon exhibition. And it was through him that I discovered Pinot. This painter of such definite skill, and now this dead man, whose soul I think maybe I saw departing his body, or maybe in my worst fears, some part of him was pulled out, maybe, I don't know. But this dream of establishing an exhibition in London will not leave me alone. And first thing in the morning, I could probably leave a message with Durand-Ruel's secretary and say, I absolutely need to know, did that painting sell? But far more importantly, on top of that, I think of Thomas, my husband. And I think of him safe at home in Hampstead, where we live. Although, how many months have I actually spent there? This last 6, not so many. So many weeks and months away. And I think about what I've sacrificed to be able to be this free and capable, and what I've never wanted, I've never wanted a family, and he's always understood. I was enough for him. I've deliberately always sought more than he can seek. And I've always succeeded at it. And now this transition to an artist, even though tonight has been catastrophic in some ways, and a failure, and I feel the blood on my lip and rushing down my nose. My handkerchief is stained in carnadine, and I look at it and I think, yes, in some ways a disaster, and in other ways, exactly what I've been so afraid of. The thing that I admire so much about artists, but dismiss so much about artists, is their freedom to live in the shit and blood and fear and loss and hope and ritual and symbol of it all. And tonight, for the first time ever, I felt it there calling to me, and I replied, and it felt better. And I know that Bathsheba was part of that. I know that she unlocked a door. And although I'm terrified of what Clovis Hérbert has said, particularly when he said that her skin was so smooth and he saw no pores, that did give me pause. And I thought about it. I thought, that's wrong. The light moving didn't feel wrong, but it didn't feel right. There's too many mysteries, and as Edwina said, there's too many mysteries. And the last voice of reason, perhaps, is Benoit, but Benoit's so aloof. And is that the problem, is that he can't see what we see, and it'll all boil down, I think, to him. Because he, to me, up until this moment, has been the voice of cool, classic, cynical, deprecating reason. But passion could lead us somewhere. It could lead us to that black, flat surface of the man and the bull. And the weirdest of futures. I try to remember the feel of Thomas's hand in mine. And I can just feel it. But it's so fragile a memory. In the face of all this paint, all this wildness, all these images, but above all, this feeling, this art, something wrapped inside it, something trying to get out, something trying to speak, to be heard, a prophet speaking, a sainthood, writhing, a message. A message. A message.
This was an Apocalypse Players production. If you enjoyed this episode, there are 2 things you can do right now for free to help us keep making more of the content that you love. The first is to share it with a friend, or even an enemy. The second is to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. Thank you for observing these solemn rituals of the cult of the apocalypse.